Coach, go ahead and make an opening statement, and we'll open it up for questions.
Congratulations to Wisconsin, hard-fought win. Made a lot of tough plays there at the end of the game to be able to come through, and that's what it was going to take in this one. A couple baskets here and there, a couple offensive rebounds, to be able to pull away. But they did a great job of being able to claw and hang, and then I thought that their front court really finished us off. They got us on the offensive boards when we switched into clock situations to take away the three, and they were able to convert on a couple big, jump hooks, 2 points, in and around the basket, and made some timely plays. But we played hard, we competed, and we were right there and played well enough to win for most part defensively. But offensively, just things around the basket were, really hard for us. If you look at our 2-point field goals in the game, you take away the, 15, 16, or 14 for 42 from the floor, from two. Is that right?
43.
Yeah, 14 for 43 from 2-point range. That's not going to get it done. And, if you just look at our lines, Thompson 1 for 5, Brunko for 2, Trace was 2 for 8, Justin 3 for 7. So not a lot of those guys were taking a lot of threes. So things around the basket were made difficult by their size, their bigs dropping. You got to make some jump shots against them, which Devontae did early in the game. And then I think he tweaked an ankle or something because he definitely did not move the rest of the game it looked right. But we had our chances. I thought Race came in and gave us a great boost on the offensive glass. And, Rob had 7 assists, 0 turnovers, and I thought Al did a pretty good job. But this is a really hard-fought game that's going to come down to a few plays you're going to look back on and wish you had back. But in a game of inches, you got to make those winning ones, and Wisconsin did.
Coach, that last 7, 8 minutes, you guys went 12 shots in a row without scoring, but it's like 7 of them were in the paint. Were you getting shots that you wanted, or is it just not happening?
Without watching it, I can't say, but I think we got some good shots. We got some 2-point baskets that didn't go in. Whether it was jump hooks, drives, offensive rebounds, you name it. But they're big, man. They played 2 big guys a lot of the game. Size around the basket was a problem for us. I didn't think our guards got anything at the rim that was very easy. But, we played with 7 turnovers. The one thing that really, really stands out to me was with about 8 minutes to go, maybe even 10, we almost had them doubled up on the glass. The rebounding was about 30-something to 20-something, and it finished 38 to 34. And to me, the rebounding really, really started to change with about 8 minutes to go. Long rebounds, 2 or 3 of them led to 5, 6 points, and then a couple back-breaking tap-ins in the last 2 minutes when we switched to take away the pick and pop. Their big rolled us down, their other big came in. However, it worked when we rotated, when the guard drives. Not being able to carve out and keep those guys off the glass was a big part of the game. They were able to take advantage of that at the end.
I was going to ask about the struggles inside. Is there?
I don't know what you guys want me to tell you inside. There's no magic wand to score on 6'10 or 6'11. You got to score the ball. A couple of times I thought Race Thompson in the second half played with unbelievable authority, and he got it in. Everything else for us was a little bit soft around the rim. I didn't think they played soft around the rim. I thought they were able to pound us and be able to take their dribbles when they did and to shoot jump shots and go in. It wasn't as if everything was just a missed wide open layup. You're talking about that's the way Wisconsin's won 8 in a row. They make threes. They got a difficult style to play against, and then defensively they keep their bigs back and they make things hard. You got to shoot in between the big and the rim, and that's why for about 20 years they've been pretty good. They've got unbelievable size and skill. They play hard. I can't say that our guys didn't play hard, and I can't say that we didn't get some good looks. We just at times that we needed to be able to convert, we didn't. Especially, I thought last 2 minutes. Last 2 minutes when we actually got some stops and the ball was coming back down. We had some easy ones that didn't go in. Race tip dunk didn't go in. Devontae had a runner right in front of the rim, didn't go in. We couldn't convert. Inside the paint, the percentage is what it is. We didn't finish.
Looking at games in the second half where you guys have leads late, like Arkansas, Maryland, and again today, do you see any defining characteristics about why it kind of goes away late and you guys aren't able to come out with the wins?
Each game's different. Our team right now is a lot different than in those games. And in this game, I thought Wisconsin earned the win, did a good job of being able to get some stops. We weren't able to convert. And on the other end of the floor, we got stops, and at the end of the day, they beat us to some loose balls and long rebounds. And then, the last couple minutes, not being able to get the one-time rebound when we actually get a stop. When you switch ball screens with them at the end of the clock, you got to keep it in front, but when you don't, you got to find a way to keep them off the boards. But this game is irrelevant compared to any other game. This game was played by two teams at the end of the season that competed really hard. And, like I said, Wisconsin made the plays they needed to do to win it.
Greg?
Archie, so none of us know, like, the bubble, what it looks like or who's going to get in, and you don't know either, but you sounded confident out there on the court. I mean, there's no way to know, but what do you think?
If you watch Sesame Street and you listen to all the characters on Sesame Street talk, and everyone gets all under, yeah. It's like if you watch Sesame Street and you listen to the guys on Sesame Street, it's a children's show. Every bracketology is a children's show. Bottom line with our resume is it's strength of record, and that's undeniable. It's a top 25 strength of record. If you don't put in a top 25 strength of record team with the wins that we have, somebody's going to have to answer some questions. Maybe they didn't win on the road. All right, there's about 15 teams that didn't do that. Well, maybe they didn't beat enough that, there's some teams that have maybe half of the amount of quad one in 2 games that we have. And when you look at our wins, I think we have 3 wins against the top 10 in the quad. I mean, like 2-seed Florida State, you beat this team, you beat that. Since December 3rd, we have not played one team that's not a high major team. No one's done it. But when you start to go through the bracketology and you listen to the Sesame Street cartoon guys on TV who need people to click and do all this stuff, the bottom line is strength of record. Who'd you play? Who'd you beat? And if you look at our wins, there's very few teams in the country that can say that they've beaten the Florida States, the Michigan States, the Ohio States, the Iowas, the Penn States, who clearly are in the field. So if you're beating 6, 7 teams in the field, you should be in the field. Now, everyone's going to say you don't have a 500 record in the league. They've already stated that the 500 record in the league doesn't matter. It's your body of work, because there's certain teams that played the 330th non-conference strength of schedule, which we didn't do. So if you add it all up, we scheduled to make the tournament. We've got a lot of good wins, played in an unprecedented season in the Big Ten in terms of the depth. And when you have that many teams competing for the tournament, 12, most of the year, and you beat each other up, my hope is that they just don't take it for granted how hard it is to win in the league. And I think today was our 24th or 25th straight Power 5 game. I mean, who does that? We did. Everyone wanted to bust our chops to start the season on our non-conference schedule. It worked out. Princeton's going to be in the Final Four of the deal. Conference USA's champion, or at least has a chance, is Louisiana Tech. South Dakota State won their league. You end up playing UConn and Notre Dame, but some of those games are a crapshoot sometimes. Both teams have had pretty good years. I mean, we beat them away from home. In league play, it is what it is. Who'd you play? Who'd you beat? So when I look at the stuff that really matters, the net is considerably different than any other number that stacks us, and that's because the net now goes into margins. So they don't really care if you've been a great game on the road by 1 or did you beat a really good team at home by 4. Now, there's some efficiency and there's some things that go into the winning margin of a game and some efficiencies that go into the net that don't add up. But if you look at KPI, BPI, Sagarin, look at all of the metrics, Ken Palm in the top 35, strength of schedule is like 14 on all of them. It's like, who'd you play, who'd you beat? I think at the end of the day, our strength of record is like 26 coming into the game.
Yeah.
If you have a strength of record of top 25, you played a good schedule and you beat good teams, you should be in the tournament.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thank you. I don't know if that answered it. That was a lot.